Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And guys, today I have a really crazy announcement. There's actually two. We are doing two massive giveaways. Right now, I am giving away $2,500. How you can enter, all you have to do is make sure that you keep supporting the channel with those likes. Because in this case here, we need 1,500 likes on this video to be able to give it away. All you have to do is make sure you press the like button, comment something, and follow either my Instagram or my Twitter. One of them is fine, but I recommend you follow both. And then there's a second very big giveaway, which is going to be more than $5,000, maybe even more. And to enter into that one, all you need to do is make sure you have a link or use the link down below to make yourself an account over on Bybit. Right now, there's the biggest bonus ever anyway, up to $4,100. And that will actually allow you to enter a lot of my giveaways in the future. Right now, about $5,000 that we're giving away within a couple of days here. But in total, I have over $10,000 already set apart to give away to some of the people who made an account. And we've already given away like thousands upon tens of thousands of dollars. So make sure you get yourself an account. A link is down below for that. All right, let's first talk about this. Ripple partnered up. Check is proud to announce Ripple as a new customer of its leading edge Know Your Business and Know Your Customer platform for its global compliance. So I always want to call this a big deal. In reality, it is not that crazy for XRP, but it's mostly from the perspective that Ripple wants to go the route of being properly regulated, not really mess around with that type of stuff. And I'm always really excited to see any announcements in this regard because Ripple at least is coming out and say, hey, we want to be a proper business. We don't want to joke around too much in the sense that we're not going to act as if we're a DAO or properly decentralized in the sense that we're just going to go for KYC requirements to make sure that we can really operate as a proper business and continue to go on like that. I don't know. I always appreciate the efforts in which they go about this, and I always give them props at the end of the day for how and why they're doing this. Then our second little thing of today is that the Prime Minister Modi of India, his Twitter just got hacked, and very briefly, there were a couple of false claims about crypto. Because yes, what I basically read is the Twitter handle of PM Modi was very briefly compromised. The matter was escalated to Twitter, and the account was immediately secured, obviously. In the brief period, though, any tweet shared must be ignored. And the tweet said, let's quickly see if they actually posted it in here. I'm not exactly sure where it's supposed to say it, but they basically said that Bitcoin/crypto was proper legal tender. I'm not finding it in here for some reason. Whatever. We just saw that they basically claimed that crypto was proper legal tender, which was, in my opinion, a really interesting thing because at the end of the day, of course, it was not legitimate. The breach came to light when Modi's Twitter handle was used by unknown attackers to publish a post that falsely claimed that India has adopted Bitcoin as legal tender and the government of India has bought 500 Bitcoin to distribute among residents of the country. I really wonder how many people they trolled with that little announcement, but mind you, he has 74 million followers over on Twitter. So yeah, this is not a small thing. It's not a joke, like that. That's a really interesting announcement. It does make you wonder as well if these hackers really are big Bitcoin/crypto supporters, or if they're just memeing, or they're actually against crypto, if they make an announcement like that, or just trying to quickly pump it up. Really interesting. All right, then over into Cardano and IOG, one of the parties above Cardano. IOG has already started the process of making Cardano resistant against quantum attacks. So that's a fear that's new, I guess, huh? Cardano creator Charles says IOG has started preparing for future attacks of the Cardano network by quantum power adversaries. Quantum computing is a type of computation that harnesses the collective properties of quantum states, such as superposition, interference, and entanglement, to perform calculations, and devices that perform quantum computations are known as quantum computers. As reported by the Daily Hodl in a recent video released on his YouTube channel on December 6th, Hoskinson said that the first step in the long process of making Cardano quantum resistant was to run simulations to test Cardano's algorithms. The first thing you need to do is model the algorithms we have against a quantum adversary, and we have started that process, but that's not in scope for the deliverables in 2022. However, the knowledge is there, the people are there, and if it's a priority for the next 5 years of Cardano, it's something that can be done, meaning they're properly resistant for or against a system like this, and I guess that's one of the most important Wait a minute. I'm getting a couple of people to text me. All right. I just wanted to quickly see what that was because it was about crypto, but it's not an important announcement for in this video. This is what I always do as well, guys. I have so many people who send me information now, and I always, during these recordings, get information on my phone, and I very often check out it. I'm like, oh, and then I just drop another article in here over on the top. If you guys have noticed, I sometimes do that. It's because I just got the recent information then, and I want to quickly share it as soon as I possibly can without having to wait for another video. Because if it's important, I've got to get it to you guys as soon as possible. You know, we ain't waiting around for that type of stuff, obviously. But this is a really important property because quantum computing, of course, can mess up Bitcoin as being a proof of work rather heavily because it can basically crack the code. And so IOG, or basically Cardano, preparing for that and saying it's possible to beat it, it's pretty juicy stuff. So if the need arises, because right now it's not there just quite yet, the quantum computers are not that good in a sense, they can fix it, which is good. By the way, what a huge amount of FUD and back and forth about Solana, huh? But apparently Solana is gearing up for a 255.2% rally early next year by crypto exchange Kraken. That's basically what they said. They did a little bit of analysis. According to the crypto exchange, Solana's corrective move from its all-time high of around 260 puts the Ethereum challenger in a position to ignore the next leg of its bull cycle. The fourth-ranked crypto asset appears to be in an early innings of its fourth wave of price discovery. Accordingly, it appears in the early innings of a fourth wave of price discovery, potentially continuing the trend along the wedge pattern. Okay. Then Parallel Finance secures fourth slot on Polkadot's parachain with $300 million crowd loan. It's crazy. As I said before, Polkadot is so freaking undervalued right now from the perspective of how scarce it basically turned out to be, or how little of a supply there is. This executive says, despite almost getting killed several times, Bitcoin and Ether survive. One of the fun things we keep seeing is people saying Bitcoin or crypto is going to zero. Yet every single time they claim such a thing, they basically have no real reason to back it up. They say it's a Ponzi scheme, or it's just what people value it at, which is almost any single thing. Every single thing, like even a gold, is just what people value it at. And it's not a bad thing. Same thing for art. Same thing for most things which don't have that many useful real properties, or things which are overvalued for the cost of making, for example. So let's say clothes or any resale market. It's just because people have a certain demand for it. And you might say the demand is based upon nothing. Well, does it have to be based upon something? The demand is there because people want something. It's the same thing exactly for clothes. Would clothes ever have to sell above premium, or at a premium, I mean? Not really, because why would they? Just because there's a specific demand because of scarcity, right? Logically, cryptos are scarce, so there's a premium for it because people want to have that specific thing. So it goes for clothes and for shoes specifically, for example. Some Nike shoes can sell for $100,000 when the actual buy price was $110, or let's say $150. Why is that so? Because it's very limited and people want to have it. Is that a bad thing? It's debatable. Same thing for watches. Why is there such a markup on watches now? Even one of Patek Philippe just now sold for $5.2 million, when in reality, it's not really worth that much. It's pretty similar to almost any other watch that goes for, let's say, $200,000. Just a couple of minor differences can make the whole world of difference because of scarcity and because of people's demand for something that's exclusive in a sense. Well, with Bitcoin, it's not necessarily exclusive because you can buy the smallest piece. You know, it's divisible. But there's a certain demand for it, which I don't think is a bad thing. So people saying, oh, it's going to die because of this, that, makes no sense to me. And I always come back to that point saying, why would you ever say something like that when you have no idea? I can always kind of like pity people who think it's going to go to zero, because I honestly believe it's going to be the standard. My soul has 100% confirmed for itself, basically, that crypto is the standard. So whenever people say this type of stuff, I just look at them and laugh in my head. At the end of the day, though, I value everybody's opinion. And if they think so and they can back it up properly, I do want to listen. But nobody can really convince me because it just doesn't make any sense to me. No argument I've ever heard makes a good one. What do I do when crypto goes down? Here's the answer. I also see this pretty often. People not knowing what to do when prices dip. Let me just remind you guys that the most important thing to do in dips is to actually keep a level head. You can decide to buy or just keep it chilling and just hold for the longer term. But I would say selling when things go down is like one of the worst things you could do, logically speaking. Sometimes it's better because you actually sold before an even bigger dip, but most of the time that's not the case. Most of the time, the point at which you decide to sell, you're at the lowest point ever. And so be careful with that type of stuff. Again, not financial advice, cannot give that, but be careful with that stuff. Let me just put it like that. And then also I saw this, no evidence to back digital gold as inflation hedge. Bitcoin posts 4th consecutive weekly drop from an all-time high. I also noticed that the freaking numbers are showing some huge fear in the crypto space, but in reality, that also makes no sense to me. But the only thing I wanted to say here, guys, is that I do believe that the value of crypto will increase quite drastically in the near future. If we're purely basing it on the fact that right now, inflation and crypto are not a one-to-one yet, which I do believe they should be. Let's think about this logically, right? Bitcoin should go up every single time that we notice inflation is above 2%, so to speak, or that there is just a relatively high inflation like we see right now. Bitcoin should just kind of keep soaring without any freaking stop. But the fact that it's actually going lower, even though the inflation is at the highest points in freaking decades, that shows either manipulation, which I definitely stand by, or just that the system is not in place perfectly just quite yet. Makes me think, I don't know which one is the actual, but it makes you think, you know, that some juicy things in that regard are still going to come as they find their place. All right, having said that, guys, make sure you check out the link down below for BITRUE, as right now they have the craziest bonuses ever. But also, we keep joining all these launch pads and all these freaking launches of coins because they do so amazing. I'm going to, again, tell you all to check that stuff out. We bought all of these cryptos that are on here. Let me show you guys. And literally every single one of them has done extremely well. It's really literally hard to lose money on these things. And with Real, we just 20 timed our money in about a day or so, which is why I keep sharing it with you guys and why I keep recommending you to at least look it up. If you actually join, that's completely up to you. But I'm joining every single one of them and sharing my journey here over on YouTube. And I would recommend you to at least read into it and see if it is something for you, because you might make some juicy gains this way. All right, guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you also follow me over on my other socials like freaking Twitter. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.